Hi, I'm Camilla Blossom from Earth Magic, and I wanted to talk about awakening relationships and the spirit of generosity today. For those who don't know me, I am an empath, a sensitive, and intuitive, and I offer spiritual mentorship, land alchemy, and I am a medicine woman. Been on this path for over 35 years, path of fairy shamanism, and working with awakening relationship with nature, with the earth and the trees, elementals, and fairy realms. So I wanted to bring forward something that came through a video last week, and it was through the spirit guide who, through my puppet here, Uni, there resides a very ancient, wise unicorn. And he's someone who's guided me for many years. He guides my business, he guides my life, he gives me advice. He's a very strong grandfather figure and helper for me. And his spirit has so much purity and innocence and light. And I wanted to bring through more of this message that he shared and also introduce you because he is willing to help anyone that wishes to receive his help, even if you don't believe in unicorns or don't really understand that kind of magical, mystical realm. Just allow your imagination and your heart to be open. The unicorns are soul healers, and they work very closely with all the fairy realms and all of nature realms and all of that great stuff. So the message that came through from him was to be generous. And it kept sitting with me to share this message and realizing in this approach to solstice, there's lots of kind of important reminders as we pass through this really strong portal. It really is a time to close and let go of the old ways, even our old identities, who we thought we were, what we thought we'd be doing, and awaken new relationships, not just with other humans, but with the earth, with nature, with the trees, with the plants, the animals, and all of life. And so that's a lot of this work that I share with that oneness of the unity consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the oneness of all. So in this Be Generous, I recognize that it's that same message I've received, and also Ted Andrews talks about in his books about the elementals. And that is if you want to work with the earth elementals, such as the gnomes who work in your garden and with the earth, if you want to open to the elves, if you want to open to the earth elementals that work in the spirit realms, but really in the practical physical world because they're earth and earth is the physical. So if you want to work with them, practice cheerful generosity and then they will open to you. And this is really such a great message, not just for working with the elementals and the unicorns, but also with other humans, how we can learn kindness, how we can give and share without any expectation of what comes back. And I think we're all wanting a world that is more caring and tending for us and for how we care for others. But also recognize that there is a shadow side when we give too much and deplete ourselves. So in the last video on relationships, I talked about that equal exchange of energy in relationships, how important that is. But it's also not just about equal exchange in every specific relationship, but overall, like your own energy. If you're giving from a depleted place, then your relationship with yourself needs work. So just to remind you of that. So being generous, I just invite you for a moment to consider what that means to you, what that means to be generous. What are the things that just come into your mind when you think of that? Or think of people that you know that are very generous. Like, what is it What are their actions? What are they like? How are they generous? How is that shown? And what this brought forward, and I thought it was so perfect because we just had Father's Day. So we're on the heels of that and really looking at the healthy masculine, the healthy father figures in our life. And I know many fathers did not know how to be fathers. They're in the distortion of the masculine. And so they really didn't know how to model that. And so what I got to learn from this quality of generosity, from the elementals, from nature, I had a curandero teacher years ago, and he really helped me see too what a healthy man, healthy masculine is, because it is from our fathers that we learn generosity. Our fathers are the teachers of that. And so if we didn't have a good father role model, then we didn't learn. But if we had a good one, then we learned how to be generous. We were generous. We learned generous communication, which is a really key component of healthy masculine energy. Healthy men have very good communication, very honest, very open. They don't keep things inside so much. They communicate and share. There's that sense of honesty. Father energy can give you that sense of security and safety and love and be generous with their finances. So all of these things kind of show us that quality of generosity. But I know because of the distortions in our world, many of us didn't receive that. We didn't feel that generosity. So we learned in different ways. And one of the things that I learned was there's lots of ways to bring through that father, that healthy masculine energy for me, kind of my inner father, my inner masculine that we all carry. And so some of the ways that I did that was recognizing, I think because I'm an energy healer, energy worker, and very attuned to energies, is that you don't always need like a father figure, although that's great. You know, a human, a father or a father figure or a man to help you heal that or receive that. I mean, if you have that, beautiful, celebrate, but you also can do that in other ways. And so one of the ways I accessed this beautiful, generous father figure was through the plants. And because I work deeply with the plants and their spirits and their energies and build a relationship with them, I've been able to access that father, the beautiful energy of father through the energetic transfer, the energetic transmissions, the spiritual initiation. In particular, when I was, I think it was about 2012, I was traveling in Southeast in Arizona with my partner, and it's like I have to go see the saguaro cactus again. They're calling me. So we went there and he was making his offerings and tuning into the land as he always did. And he said, there's something about men. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So I went into the to be with the cactuses, and there were those huge cactuses that grow like, I don't know, 30 feet, 50 feet. I don't know the measurement of them, but they're beautiful. And they were blooming these huge white flowers on the tops. So the saguaro cactus called me over. And so one in particular, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just had such a beautiful feeling from it. And so I started walking around it and singing to it and chanting and listening. And all of a sudden, I heard this fatherly voice of the cactus, and it said, I'm your father now. I'm taking the place of your father. It was almost like, your father hasn't quite lived up to what is needed here for you. So this cactus came and brought me a lot of healing for that. Father wounds, I suppose you could call it. And so this cactus became its energy, even though I wasn't living there all the time. Like, I did make a flower essence and took that quite a bit and worked with its spirit. And this cactus just was super present in my life to help me with that spirit, that energy, that feeling of having a strong father figure. I've also had that experience with different trees here in the Pacific Northwest, the oak, the cedar. Different trees at different times have really held that father or grandfather spirit. So there's ways that we can access that. And, over the last few months too, I've seen a lot of the, I believe it's the ruby red ray come through when I've been doing my work with the trees, and that realizing there's a lot of light energy, cosmic energy, color rays that hold the divine masculine energy that are coming in for us to receive, to hold, to anchor, and also to realign our own so that we can have really harmonious energy of the masculine within ourselves, whatever our gender, however we identify. I've also had beautiful healings with Merlin, the magician, with Archangel Michael has been a strong figure for me. And then Uni, the grandfather unicorn spirit, among many others in spirit form. And also men that have shown up in my life to be that for me. I want to honor them as well. But to just know that sometimes it's not easy to find the healthy human relationship that we need for the healing, but that we can do that from within. We can do that in our own journeys within ourselves, shamanic journeys or meditations, or calling in the ruby ray, the divine masculine energies, whatever we need for that healing. And this is part of that generosity. How to be generous, how to feel you can be generous because things are flowing and you feel more secure, and you want to share that with others and help others feel that kindness, that tending, and then create this world together. And I just want to say too, one of the messages that Uni, the wise ancient unicorn, gave me. I don't know when this was, maybe some months back, but I think I was working with some financial issues, which I know is a big collective healing at this time. And the generosity piece is a big part of abundance, right? How we can be generous, how we can receive that generosity from others, how we open those collective fields of energy of generosity on a planet that has a lot of distortions around that, so that can change. And I do feel that's possible. But what was interesting, Uni was sharing in the unicorn community and kin that they couldn't understand the human concept of lack of sharing and generosity of finances within families and kin. And I have to admit, I don't either. And you probably don't either. But that's something for us all to consider as we build our dreams, as we build our finances. Like, how do we create a world where we do give generously? We do share with others generously. We support others. We give to people on the crowdfunding sources if they're having issues going on. So there's lots of ways that I think we can learn and open. And I know for myself, open to being more generous and open those relationships with the physical realms, because really the earth elementals are teaching us how to build, how to create with them, how to manifest on a very physical, 3, 4, 5, all the different dimensions, but in a physical way as well. So it can show up in the physical realm. So I think all these issues tie together really beautifully at this time of year of Father's Day and the honoring of the men, the masculine, and the generosity. And so I do want to thank all the beautiful men who do hold the generosity of spirit for their families, and also for all those who hold that within them, whatever gender they are, whatever gender you are. Really honor that and thank you. And you are changing the world just through your generosity. So have a beautiful day. Thank you.